and welcome to the 2018 NCCS Spring Sports Awards Ceremony. My name is Nick Trombley. I'm the Athletic Director here at NCCS. I'm going to begin by thanking numerous individuals that have helped make this past spring season a success. First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Rick Hunter for all of his help with the athletics webpage. I would like to thank Ms. Kim Letourneau and Ms. Jennifer Dion for their work as our school nurses. I would like to thank Mr. Arsène Letourneau for creating the plaques that we have for this evening's ceremony. I would also like to thank our Booster Club for their continued generosity and effort throughout the season. On that note, as many of you know, they support our facilities and athletic teams here at NCCS. I'm going to now have, I think all 4 officers are here. If you could come down, please. Booster Club. 2,
Yeah.
3.
I was just doing a sweep. I did not see Sherry
Okay.
Hollister.
3 out of 4 is not bad. So some of you probably have noticed that there is a different addition to the front here. We normally just have the table and the podium, but we have something underneath that we're going to unveil in a second. A recent donation from the Booster Club is a scorer's table to be used in the gym for sports such as basketball and volleyball. We have the few members here, so let's unveil.
All right.
Thank you very much. For all the parents in here, I'm sure you probably know this already, but in some way, shape, or form, your son or daughter has been given something by our Booster Club. They are fantastic, and as a coach, as the athletic director, if you ask them for something, they're always willing to help us, as you see here. So thank you to the Booster Club. Special thanks to Lisa Menard, who has been a huge help in the preparation of this awards ceremony. I would like to thank Mr. Calvin Castine of Hometown Cable for covering a great deal of our athletic events, games, and ceremonies. I'd like to thank the custodial, maintenance, and transportation staffs. They are all extremely hardworking people, and I think they do a fantastic job. And in the spring, they must be extremely flexible. I call Eileen almost daily, and she goes, "Morning, Nick," and there's always something that I have to tell her. I need to change this. We're rained out here. There's a field underwater, and they are fantastic. They make sure that we make it to all of our sporting events on time. Last but not least, I'd like to thank the coaches for all of their time they dedicate to our athletic programs. It truly shows in the growth and success of our athletes. Let's give a round of applause for everyone that has made this happen. For those of you who have not been here before, the format of the ceremony is I'm going to announce each team and the coach of that team one at a time. The coach will come down here, and they're going to give you a brief synopsis of their season. At the end of their synopsis, we will announce the special award winners for that team. Once we have gone through each team and our awards here, the teams will then go to a designated location that'll be stated at the end of the ceremony to finish the awards ceremony. Once you're at that location, the JV coach, then followed by the varsity coach, will speak about their season and hand out the certificates and pins. We're going to start with varsity golf, coached by Matt Fredette and Mary Gay. Coach Fredette is not here. Coach Gay obviously is here. Coach Fredette is down at the Cornell, I always want to say Cortland. The Cornell golf course with 2 of his golfers, Ben Lloyd and Anthony Barcombe, qualified for states. So they are down there competing in that. If you did not hear, if you're any bit of a golfer, Tony shot in the first day of competition his best round ever, which was an 80, but that's not the greatest part. He had a hole-in-one. So if you see Tony, please congratulate him for that. He's not here. Cougar golf team had the best season it has had in years. The team went 8-2 and were CBAC League champions for the first time since 1984. Riley Duffy went undefeated in matches, Keegan McKinnon went 9-1, and Ben Lloyd finished the season 7-2. Chase Letourneau and Noah Doopy made the second day of sectionals for the first time. Ben Lloyd and Tony Barcombe were named CBAC All-Stars and qualified for the Golf State Championships. I am really proud of how the players performed out on the course, but I am even more proud of how they conducted themselves at school and at the golf course. They represented our golf program very well, and I'm very appreciative of having the opportunity to coach them. Coach Fredette. Before I announce just a side note here as a kind of a spectator at the golf sectionals, for those of you that do not know, it is now on a rotational basis. It used to be just at one location at the Saranac Inn or Westport. There was 2 locations. And the athletic directors voted a couple years ago to go on a rotational basis. This is the first time, and I know I'm going to be off on the year, that the North Country Golf Course has hosted the sectional tournament, I think since the late 80s. 1985. So going over there and being a part of this, the golf course did a fantastic job. They were very, very welcoming to all of the local athletes. And in addition to that, I just kind of have to put a little bit of a proud moment here for Coach Fredette and Coach Gay. As I stood there and watched I shouldn't say most, let me rephrase that. As I watched all NCCS golfers come in, if you know anything about golf, it's kind of it's a sport of being honest, of friendship, of camaraderie. At the end of a round, it's very traditional for you to take off your hat and shake all the other players that you've played with for 18 holes for how they played that day and to own your game that you brought to the course. And I would say that 100% of the time when I watched NCCS athletes come in, they took off their hat. They actually had to follow some players off the green to shake their hand. So it speaks well for what Coach Fredette and Coach Gay have done for our golf team. So thank you very much. Varsity Golf Most Improved Player is awarded to Jace O'Connor. Varsity Golf Most Valuable Players are awarded to Riley Duffy and Ben Lloyd. Next we have boys and girls varsity tennis, coached by myself and Coach McManus. What seems to be a common occurrence around these parts, it was very difficult to find good tennis weather and dry courts early in the season. Even with limited court time, both teams had a great season. Just to give you a couple of highlights of the year, they came in the sectional tournament where the tandems of Michael Kopp and Ian O'Donnell placed second in sectionals, earning a bid to states their second year in a row. And Elizabeth Roberts and Riley Passano placed in the doubles. They actually won, defeating a very good Beekmantown team. To the athletes, tennis players, thanks for a great year. Make sure to play some tennis this summer. Varsity Girls Most Improved Player is awarded to Bryn Sample. Girls Varsity Tennis Most Valuable Players are awarded to Elizabeth Roberts and Riley Passano. guessed it, boys varsity tennis most valuable players are awarded to Ian O'Donnell and Michael Powell. Next up, we have varsity girls track and field, coached by Rob Guerin.
This year's girls varsity track made many improvements. First, the team increased its numbers by 18 runners this year, which was nice to see the participation level rise to this year's squad of 27 runners. We were 2-5 in the league, however 2 of our defeats came down to simply one race. The girls did very well at putting Cougar track on the map regarding our ability to be competitive and successful against other teams. The other good thing about our squad is we have a variety of talent ranging from all grade levels of grade 8 through grade 12. Our hope is to continue increasing our numbers and getting points in all of our events. Kudos to the entire track program for your school spirit and support of your teammates while they were competing. Congratulations to Kate Southwick, Emily Royer, Aisla McDonough, Marley Sample, Ashley Manette, Emma Fredette, and Taylor Woods as we sent the most in our history of our track girls program on to qualifiers. The program again did a great job representing our school. Congratulations also to our seniors, Aisla McDonough, Kate Southwick, Emily Royer, and Megan Hilferty. Also, many thanks to our senior manager, Devin Kellogg, for all your help this year. We wish all of you seniors the best of luck in all future endeavors. One other major accomplishment that I think says a lot of greatness about our job that's done in the classrooms first is out of 57 runners between the boys and girls program. First time ever we had to take 2 buses to competition because of our numbers on the increase, which is solid, but solid performance in the classroom as we did not have 1 runner this year on academic probation. So at 57, that's huge success in itself. Congratulations to girls and boys.
Most valuable track and field athletes are awarded to Emily Royer, Aisla McDonough, and Caitlin Southwick. Next up, we have boys varsity track and field, coached by Luke Connell.
All right, first off, I'd like to say thank you to my athletes for a fun and entertaining season. I'd also like to thank parents / transportation for making sure their athlete got to and from practices and meets. And also thank you to anyone who helped at our home / away meet. And anybody else, thank you that I forgot. It definitely makes it easier when we have everybody involved, whether it's the athlete, the parents, everybody coming together makes it a lot better for us coaches. Again, this season, it was nice. It was a lot better. I think we improved a lot, and I was very proud of the team. We showed a desire to be competitive and to improve, which is huge in track. Overall, we surprised some teams in our section. We went 2-5 as well. Close races. However, I think we kind of showed the section that we're putting ourselves back on the map a little bit. We set the goal to keep improving in the future and keep those numbers growing. I was most happy with the camaraderie and sportsmanship we showed all season. Whether it was our own team or other teams, I think we set the bar cheering for each other. So for qualifiers, I had 2 make it. Liam Hilferty and Thomas Gilbo were my 2 that made it to qualifiers. And I think we'll have more next year the way it improves. So thank you.
Varsity boys track and field most improved player is awarded to Jacob Steinfeld. Varsity boys track and field most valuable player is awarded to Liam Hilferty. Next we have JV baseball coached by Justin Sample.
I see our team sitting over here, so.
Don't run away before I can shake your hand.
All right, I'd like to thank the JV boys on a successful season. They represented the school, the class, and also respected the other teams and officials. The team had a much different look this year with 16 players compared to 8 or 9 last year. We started the season off with 2 good wins against Peru and Beatontown, and then it kind of went downhill after that. The next 5 games didn't go so well. We lost the next 3 by 2 runs, and then took 2 good beatdowns. The team could see my frustration and didn't know what to expect after the next few practices. After countless fly balls and infield ground balls, a few hundred stare downs, and maybe a little bit of yelling, they turned it around. They went on to win the next 5 out of 6 and ended the season at 7-6. No matter the circumstances, they never quit. Their hard work and dedication paid off throughout the year. It was a pleasure coaching you guys, and good luck to the players that are new coming.
JV baseball most improved player is awarded to Sam Balson. JV baseball most valuable player is awarded to Hunter LaValle. Next we have varsity baseball coached by Coach Jeff Norton and assistant Scott LaFountain and Eric Miller.
The members of the varsity baseball team have been working hard in season and out of season to continue the improvement of the program. The boys put in hours of effort on the practice field, in the weight room, and in off-season to help bring the program to the success it achieved this year. A league record of 12-3 was good enough to earn a Division I CVAC championship. The first time for Northeastern since 1981. I wasn't even born yet. The accomplishment of winning the regular season is one that the team has set a preseason goal and continued to work hard toward all year. The 3 losses, Ticonderoga, Plattsburgh, and Peru, were all by 1 run. 2 of those teams were eventual sectional champions. The team showed great character all year, not only in their sportsmanship, but also the fact that they never quit in any game. Even after being behind in some games this year, the boys always found a way to fight back and make the game competitive and close. And most of the times, found a way to come back and win the game. The coaching staff is equally as proud of the excitement with which the baseball team approaches being involved in the community. The team ran a youth baseball clinic for local children ages 5 years old and older. They also volunteered at local baseball tryouts to help supervise the children and run various stations. We're proud of the manner in which these members of the baseball team represent their school and their program. Thank you to all the players and the families for another successful year. The commitment, dedication, and time you put into fundraising, practice, and games this season has made a year filled full of great memories. We're proud of you and appreciate everything you've done for the baseball program. Thank you.
Varsity baseball most improved players are awarded to Kyle Vassar and Caleb LaBarge. Varsity baseball most valuable players are awarded to Adam Galucci and Riley Hollister. Next, we have JV softball coached by Hannah Emery.
So at the beginning of the season, I was a little worried. We had like 7 sign up, which is not enough for a team. But somehow we made it to 10, thankfully. And after weeks of being in the gym to those horrible practices that are never fun for anybody, we finally make it outside. We have a game in Peru, it's sunny, looks like a good day. We're in the top of the 5th. It starts snowing and you cannot see a thing. We're down by 2 runs and we have runners on 1 and 2. Someone, I don't remember who, hits a line drive, goes right by the official, he calls the game. That's how our season started. So we had to take a loss for that one, unfortunately. We had another hard loss against Beekman Town, but then the next week we run ruled 3 teams, and then it just went up from there. It was a very back and forth season. We ended up right under 500, which far exceeded my expectations. We had a lot of fun, and for such a young and new mix of players, it was a really successful season. We played through tough losses, huge wins, and tight games. Our mental game got stronger, our skills sharpened, and by the last game, we were finally running the bases at a 10. And I'm excited to see where we can go in the future, and I'm sad to see girls move up, but good luck in the future.
JV softball most improved player is awarded to Sarah Gore. JV softball most valuable player is awarded to Kelsey Gamache. Varsity softball coached by Carrie McComb and assistant Rick Dumas.
This year's varsity softball team has continued to earn the respect of the league. This group of 6 seniors, 5 juniors, and 2 sophomores compiled a CVAC record of 9-6 and 11-7 overall. We were second in Division I and also landed the 2nd seed of sectionals, giving us the chance to host a semifinal sectional game where we had benched 2 regular season losses to Peru and advanced to the sectional finals with a 9-7 win. This year's league had lots of parity, and you truly had to play the game to know who was going to win. One of our most notable wins was giving Alsable their only league loss, beating them 9-7 on our home field in less than stellar playing conditions. Each time we stepped on the field, I felt we improved. We scored in every game we played and had almost every player step up and make a big catch or a timely hit at some point throughout the season. Our 4-1 loss to Saranac in the sectional finals was heartbreaking, but we did show lots of heart, and I have no doubt that we have the athletes to make a trip back there next year to the finals. The 6 seniors, Easton Francis, Arlie LaFountain, Katerina Emmerich, Brianna Guerin, Hannah Gordon, and Katie Kraft will be missed dearly. I would take another line drive or a punch from this crew to have one more game with them. This group of young ladies always showed good sportsmanship and were truly enjoyable to coach. They are not only athletes, but they are high honor students. They're involved in their school and their community. They were also highly respected among the other coaches in the league. Congratulations to Easton Francis and Kaya McComb for being selected Division I All-Stars, with Easton also receiving an All-CDAC honors, and Gabby Dumas receiving honorable mention. I would like to thank my assistant coach, Rick Dumas, for all the help this year, as well as Rich Houghton for keeping the scorebook. I also need to give a big appreciation to Matt Arno and the rest of the Buildings and Grounds crew for helping realign the varsity field and keeping it playable all season. Also for the support they give, as they're always encouraging and cheering us on. Our team had great team chemistry, and when trying to decide on an MVP and MVP, I just could not think of just one. Like I said before, these girls all stepped up at different times throughout the year, and everyone picked each other up at different times. I chose to give a coaches awards instead to our two captains, Easton Francis and Arlie LaFountain. They did a great job leading this team during the good and the bad, and will be missed dearly. Next year's captains will have lots to live up to. Easton and Arlie.
I feel like my next paragraph, I don't need to say it because I feel like so many of the coaches said it. But not only do our athletes excel on the playing fields, but also in the classroom. Every season, New York State Public High School Athletic Association recognizes varsity teams that have a composite grade average of over a 90 as a scholar athlete team. This spring season, the scholar athlete teams are softball, boys tennis, girls track and field, and boys track and field. In addition to recognizing scholar athlete teams, NICEFA also recognizes any athlete that maintains high honors while on an athletic team. The following athletes are recognized this season as scholar athletes. Please come down to the front when your name is called, and please hold all applause until all the names are announced, because it takes me a little while. Golf, Lucas Dusso, Riley Duffy, Noah Dupe, Ben Fredette, Scott Gore, Sean Gore, Ben Lloyd, Jace O'Connor, Logan O'Connor. Boys tennis, Ian O'Donnell, Ryan O'Donnell, Justin Pennington, Jack Sample. Girls tennis, Mara McManus, Riley Passano, Danielle Rabideau, Elizabeth Roberts, Bryn Sample, Emily Stiles, Skyland Thompson. Baseball, Adam Galucci, Braylon Larch. Softball, Gabby Dumas. Softball, Gabby Dumas, Easton Francis, Hannah Hemingway, Sydney Hunter, Arlie LaFountain, Brindley LaFountain, Paige Letourneau, Paya McComb. Girls track and field, M. Dwyer, Autumn Kaye, Alana Dara, Sam Disco, Emma Fredette, Allie Gregoire, Abby Canfield, Megan Hilferty, Audie Hollister, Allison LaPointe, Haley Letourneau, Ashley Manette, Addison Sample, Marley Sample, Kate Southwick, Brooke Tyler. Boys track and field, Keaton Badger, Thomas Gilbo, Brian Farwell, Liam Hilferty, Reed LaValle, James Malinsky, Holden Nieves, Darren Piersick, Gage Roop, Jacob Steinfeld, and Robert Thompson. I think it goes without saying that this is a good portion of our high school varsity athletic teams. This is something to be extremely proud of. We always preach school first, and obviously it shows. So, nice round of applause.
Why did they?
One of these bins. I'm sorry about starting without you coming down.
It's all good.
Nice job. Last but not least. An athlete athlete that letters on 3 varsity athletic teams is honored by receiving Northeastern Clinton's highest athletic honor known as the White N Award. I would ask that the following athletes please stand and be recognized as our past NCCS White N Award recipients. Riley Hollister, Brady LaFountain, Ian Gordon, Kyle Vassar, Hannah Gordon, Benjamin Collins, Aislinn McDonough, Emily Royer, Caitlin Southwick, Ashley Manette, and Gabby Dumas. This season, or this year, we have a vast amount of student athletes that will be receiving their White N Award. I haven't been an athletic director for a long time, but a great thing that I saw is we had a couple seniors come in this year, and you may think, oh, they're a senior and they're only getting their White N. This is their first year at NCCS, so I guess we've got to give them a little bit of a pass on that one. So when I call your name down, please come down to the podium to receive this award. I'm going to go through all of the names because we have quite a few, and then I'll hand them out, and then we will give them a round of applause. Kaya McComb, Nick Ledoux, Landon Coulomb, Brian Claudio, Caitlin Houghton, Ian O'Donnell, Skyland Thompson, Evan Wager, Emily Boyer, Sam Disco, Marley Sample, Haley Letourneau, Owen Hollister, Sydney Hunter, Braden Racine, Spencer Trudeau, and Grace Dumas. The last award for tonight is the John J. Herbert All-Academic Award. This award is given every sports season to 2 individuals that have excelled in the classroom while being a part of an athletic team. They will each receive a patch and a certificate from the section. The recipients of the John J. Herbert All-Academic Award are Arlie LaFountain and Graylin Larsh. I will now read the locations you will be going to finish the awards ceremony. Track and field will go to the gym, softball will go to the high school cafeteria, baseball to the middle school cafeteria, golf will go to the library, and tennis will stay here. Thank you for coming. I'm going to start with the kind of the informal or the formal part of this, which is handing out certificates, and then we'll move on from there. You guys just give me a second. I'm a little flustered trying to get. Sure. All right. Mayor McManus. Maggie LaFountain. Bryn Sample. Emily Stiles. Skylin Thompson. Since you guys are all in the front row. Elizabeth Roberts. Danielle Rafferty. Riley Pisonalt. Justin Pennington. Nicholas Rao. Jack Sample. Ryan O'Donnell. Ian O'Donnell. Kobe LaRush. Mike Pop. Want to start? All right. Here you go. I'll go. I feel like there's always something I forget, so I'm going to start with this. For the parents that are here, thank you so much for being flexible, because the tennis season is a nightmare, and believe me, if I could avoid having 5 matches in a week, I would do it. I think this is, we had 5 matches in a year, or this year, but the girls didn't play in one of the matches and the boys didn't play. So last year we played 5 in a row, and this year we played 5 in 1 week where only boys played 4 and only girls played 4. But it gets to be a completely hectic environment, and I guess I would like to at least thank you for being flexible with that. And I know that being athletic director, I should be really solid on our practice plan, and like, hey, this is what practice is. But what I've found about tennis players is if you say practice is at 3:45, sometimes they don't mind hitting until 5:15 or maybe until 7 o'clock. So I guess being fluid with my end time of practice is, people come to me, can I leave? Yeah, it's, you know, I don't really keep them there. It's more of the love of tennis that kind of keeps them there. So thanks for being flexible with that, and all the other stuff, bringing them to the party, carting them around. I usually forget you, so I at least want to thank you first. And for the players, I guess we'll start with this. We brought 4 people down to states this year. The girls came with us. They were sectional champions, so we ended up bringing them on the trip with us. And obviously we had Mikey and Ian. And we're going to talk a little bit of stuff not tennis first, because I feel like that was the highlight of our entire trip, if you want to hear about our trip. We got down there, and we decided we want to go out to eat. So we decided on a local place that was in a hotel, LaGuardia Hotel, Plaza Hotel right next to us. So we go over there, we sit there for about 15 minutes to 30 minutes before we order. And I'm the person that if you're sitting at the table and they place an order, you go, oh my God, man, like why? So I'm just extremely picky, and there was a burger just filled with stuff. And I don't like a lot of stuff on my burger. I just want cheese, and I want bacon, and I want the burger. That's exactly what I want. And they had tomato, lettuce, Dijon mustard, mayonnaise, things that, quite frankly, I did not want. So we sit there, we order, and I think, and I could be exaggerating, please correct me if I'm wrong, about an hour later, the food comes. And by the food coming, 4 people get their food. They look at me and they go, your burger's coming out. And I just think in my head, there's no way my burger's right. and Riley doesn't have anything, and they did not mention anything to Riley about her food not coming out. So I'm thinking, my burger's gonna be wrong, Riley's not getting food. So we sit there. My burger comes out. It was on a brioche bun. I said, you look pretty thick, if you know what a brioche bun is. There was mayonnaise all over the top, slopping with mayonnaise. And I go, you know what? I'm gonna be fine. I'll just not eat the top of the burger, and I'll eat the bottom bun and the burger. Even though there was tomato on there and lettuce on there, I could take that stuff off. And by the way, Riley hasn't gotten her food yet. And I think if Coach McManus had a videotape of this, he would replay it for you right now. I said, the mustard's gonna be underneath the burger. And sure enough, as I lift the burger, it is plastered with Dijon mustard. So we say, that was the end of that story. Then I say, oh, Riley, what about her food? And they're like, oh, she ordered food? We're like, yes, she ordered food. Anyways, a little while later, we decide, Riley and I don't want my burger. Riley doesn't want her food. We're just gonna order pizza. So we get back to the room. We order pizza from Rocco's, the local pizzeria. I think it was Rocco's? Huh? Airways Plaza, not Rocco's. Rocco's was last year. So we're waiting for Airways Plaza to deliver our pizza. We're all amped, ready to go. Airways Plaza pulls in. We are looking out the window, waiting for them to pull in. The car pulls in. The girls run down with the money to pay for the pizza. And Riley texts me. She goes, they didn't have our pizza. And I go, you're kidding with me. You're in your room. You're eating the pizza. You're not bringing me any. By the way, it's like 10 o'clock at this point in time. I'm pretty hungry. Riley's hangry. She's about ready to hurt someone. She goes, no, I cannot make this, you know what, up. They said they had to go back and get their pizza and bring their pizza back. By the way, I think we started eating around 10:45 that night. So that was one of our excursions down there. But on a tennis note, if you guys followed, and I could be wrong, if you guys followed their state play last year, I think their scores to their 2 matches were 1-0, 0-0, or 0-0, 0-0, 0-0. That means they didn't win a game. This year was a lot different of a story. I felt like I coached them their first. I went and sat down with them their first match. Coach McManus went down and sat with them their second match, and I felt like in the first game of the match, like, we could be in this. And the guys were hitting extremely well. The one thing that you may not understand, and I don't think you'll understand it until you see the level of competition down the States, is they are leaps and bounds beyond Section 7 tennis. The best player in Section 7 goes down there and he gets beat. Love and love, one and love, 2 and love and love. I mean, the scores are absurd. And I think in the first game, the first set, the guys got 3 games, 6-3, 6-0, 6-2, 6-0, and my brain is 2-0, 2-0. Anyways, 4 games more than they got last year. And in the first match, they lost in 1 game 3 ad points. You were serving, they lost 3 ad points to get a 3rd game. In the second match, which is no ad scoring, I would say they lost maybe 3 or 4 deuce points that would have given them that many games. And not only was it trying to attain games down there, but they were hitting the ball well. And they looked like they belonged more so than last year. So it speaks volumes to them two as a tandem, where they got to by the end of this year. So obviously a great season for you guys. On the girls' side, an exit, or if you followed the tennis from last year, a really early exit for the girls playing last year in the sectional tournament. They got beat by a pair from Peru, Ramos and Brown. They were very good tennis players, but we didn't really anticipate us losing that early last year. The girls, Ramos and Brown, ended up taking 2nd in sectionals. This year, the girls got a great draw. If you were lucky enough to watch them at all during any of the 3 days of the tournament, they played excellent, captured a sectional title. Just a great way for both of those teams to end their high school career in tennis. In terms of other people, and I know I'm talking about the people that had great success at the end, but I feel like throughout the year, I could sit here and talk for half an hour, but every single person won individual battles. Maybe it was, I know Jack had his first win this year, and that's a big deal. It's something that you'll remember for a long time, and everyone had their battles. Justin Pennington did not realize he was going to be #1 singles until 4 or 5 days before our first match. And he goes up and he beats Jack Drolet from Saranac, who is a great player who's played for a very long time in this, I'm upset I didn't get to watch it, but in this crazy 3-setter that went to 2 tie breaks. And you fought off 2 match points, 1 match point, 2 match points. That's something that he'll remember forever. Mara McManus won her first 3-setter against the Drolet girl, so Jack's sister up in Saranac. Coach McManus was lucky enough to see both of those matches. They were obviously awesome. I'm sitting there looking at the time and I'm going, when are they going to be here? When are they going to be here? Because obviously it was a really, really long match. And I'm sure I'm missing some of you. I know we gave Bryn the most improved player. Bryn came from never playing tennis to playing 1 at Sky and with Sky in doubles. And I remember having a discussion with someone else about your playing career. It's kind of interesting. When you were a 9th grader, you played with someone that was your age, then you played with, so you were kind of like with people, and then you were more of like a motherly figure in some of this. And you know what, Bryn's gonna remember that because you taught her a lot of the game when you were out there. And I remember watching certain matches where it's like, I'm not sure if Bryn's gonna get it, but you helped her kind of pick up her game. And by the end of the year, a fantastic player. For all of you that are not seniors, I'm going to give you a little bit of a homework assignment. Okay? The homework assignment, even though I'm fairly sure, like 100%, I will not be here next year, but that doesn't mean that I don't want to be around tennis. Okay? And it doesn't mean that I'm not going to go to practice. But one thing you need to do is this summer you need to get out there. Okay? You need to get out there, and then you need to find someone to bring with you next year. Right? Because if you paid attention on the boys' side, there was 7 this year, and you lost a lot. Same thing on the girls' side. You lost a lot of experience there. A lot of experience. So you're going to need to kind of reload for next year. And I think that the key to it is get a racket in someone's hand. People look at tennis and they go, it's not that fun. And then you put a racket in someone's hand and they hit a winner and they go, this is kind of fun. And I think that when I talk to the people that started this year, their love for tennis kind of came about. Hopefully it came about. I know that Catherine could not be here tonight. She had a season-ending injury, but she's like, I'm going to be there next year. She just loved tennis. She wanted to be there. So that's the thing you have to do. You got to get out, you got to hit, you got to get better. Because next year will come quicker than you know, and you're going to be standing on the court probably late March because we never have the right weather. But that's not the first time you can have a racket in your hand. It's got to be before that. It's got to be before that. Okay? The other thing I will tell you is I love tennis. So if during the summer you can't find a hitting partner, send me a message. Okay? If I can get away from Liam for a little while, I'll come and I'll play some tennis with you. I'm super sad about this year, but I'm super happy about all of the accomplishments that you guys have had. I think that I've seen, and I'll reiterate for the seniors what I said on senior night. I think I've seen the growth of a lot of you because some of you came with me. We left track, came over, started playing tennis, and we played good tennis. We won championships, and we won matches, and we did a lot of really good things. So you just have to keep that going. I'm not going to disappear. Coach McManus is still going to be here. There's going to be someone else that's going to have the same passion that I have. You have to have passion. Okay? You got to continue. You got to play. Thanks. That's it. I'm sure Coach McManus has the whole thing.
You talked about everything that I was going to say, so I'll make this quick. But I do have something to add to John Marston's story. I know it sounds absurd, but he repeated it 3 times that he didn't want Dijon mustard. That's what made it so funny. And so when he's looking, and I wish I had a picture. Okay. Anyway, it was just you kind of had to be there. And for those of you that Dijon mustard is a very strong taste. many of them. I guess what I want to start with is something relative to Nick Trombley, who in 3 years was the head coach. He coached a CBAC championship team. He coached an individual championship doubles team. He had multiple all-stars each year. And he took people to the state tournament every season. That's an incredible accomplishment. I remember my first year, believe it or not, and it was one of those things where it's forgettable, not the people, the season. Nick came right in, he loves the game. For anybody that doesn't know that, all you have to do is practice ends at 5:30 and Nick's still playing at 6:15 with somebody. Fantastic. We're going to miss him. It made my day when he told me that he really wanted to be part of the team next year and sort of in an unofficial capacity. We all know that you have priorities at home and so on, or he'd still be here. But he's been a great coach, and in 3 years he's had so much accomplishment. Let's give it a hand. 2 years ago, I was watching Troy Tatro play tennis in what I consider to be the most consequential match of the year. He came back in the third set, we won a championship, he was bloodied, and so on. I thought to myself, we should give out an award each year. We didn't that year for the most consequential match of the year. Last year, when you get older, you forget things, okay? And so it kind of slipped my mind. But this year, I wanted to actually have an award for that. Nick mentioned it, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about the award for this year. And that's what I called it. I just wanted to give you a heads up. We had a situation this year where our perceived #1 player hurt himself and couldn't play tennis this year, which means everybody had to move up. And that person that had to move up had not played an awful lot of singles. He had to play #1 singles in the first match. And as Nick was talking about, he fought off 2 match points. But there's some more to that story. For those of you that know anything about tennis, he actually had 2 match points and lost them, okay? And then still came back and won. That is an incredible accomplishment. So the award this year as the most consequential match of the year goes to Justin Pennington. There you go. Congratulations. All right. 2 more quick things. We ran a tournament this year, and we mixed everybody up in mixed doubles. We took the best records and so on, and we have 2 awards to give out. They're ice cream. I went there today, and of course they're not open on Monday. So there's a little money in there that may not fit with the correct thing this year, where coaches are actually handing out money to players. I'm not sure, but anyway, pretend it's ice cream. Okay, we have Ian O'Donnell, Lucy Robbins. Congratulations. Okay, so I think what's happened with many of us, and I hope this has happened to you, we didn't have our early meeting this year. But for those of you that were there last year, the year before that, and so on, you hear me promise you 2 things. The first one is that you will improve as a tennis player, that you will get better. And if we ever did videos from March or April to June, it would be fantastic. I think the weather this afternoon and this morning was a perfect metaphor for the season, because that's what it's been like, trying to get outside and playing tennis. Everybody improved. The other thing that I preach over and over again is always play the next point. Forget about the last point. This group of people had the best decorum on the court of any group that I can ever remember. And if you watch tennis on TV, famous tennis player, Djokovic, slamming his racket, slamming things around. I understand that. Believe it or not, I'm not going to tell this story, but when I was in high school, I was not always following that philosophy. But that's why it's so much more important to me now. So this was a fantastic thing for this group of people. I decided to select a senior, and before we get to that, there are 3 boys coming back. That's not a team. So we need to have gentlemen who go out there. And I think because it worked, I'm not going to mention any names, but ladies, if you can find gentlemen to come and play, that would be great too, because there's 5 of you. You know, influence them as you will. My only point is, we need to have 7 people to be able to have a team. And we may change the dynamics a little bit, I'm not sure. Whether or not we were talking about doing a home and home thing where the girls would play at one site, the boys would play at another site at the other school. We'll see how that works out. We're not 100% sure about that. But Nick Trombley is one of these special guys that you get a chance to be involved with for a short period of time in terms of the sport. I asked Riley Passon to get up and say something about it. Riley?
Guys, I hope you know that Mr. Kiss always say about 4:45, 4:30. He said, Riley, I want you to talk tonight. My heart just kind of dropped a little bit, so bear with me. So I have been playing tennis for 4 years, and Mr. Trombley has been my coach for 3 of those years. And after my first year playing tennis, I enjoyed it, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to come back. And then I found out that Mr. Trombley was coaching, and I said, well, I think I'm going to give him a chance. So I decided to come back, and that is a decision I have never regretted. He is an absolutely amazing coach. You know, I wrote down today before I came here, a few words to describe Trom. He's funny, definitely sarcastic, dedicated, caring, Peter Pan. We've got Peter Pan, White Tiger. So we're running nicknames. And he's always willing to help his team succeed. And he's very patient. We talk about those indoor practices that we have, and oh my God, I can't count how many times. I've almost hit him with ball. You'd sort of hit a target on his shirt, because that's always I was aiming for him. And he'd go, it's okay, Riley, just let's get it aimed from the middle of the court, or maybe get it on the sideline, just don't aim at me. And then after that didn't work, he'd say, Riley, I'm gonna start hitting it back at you if you don't stop hitting me. So yeah, so that's one way to describe him. But even like this year with little Liam at home, I mean, that's a lot of dedication, because like Lizzie and I, we really wanted that sectional championship this year, and we were going to stay long and work hard for it. And he would stay with us till 7:30 at night and just hit and hit. And Lizzie served greatly improved this year, my God, and that was a lot due to Trump. I mean, just with her, she'd go out and serve all the time, and it's because he could stay and work with us. My forehand, and I had issues with my shoulder this year, so he had to teach me how to adapt to that. And our sectional win was a lot based off of him. I mean, Mr. McManus talked about his achievements as a coach, but on a personal level, it's absolutely amazing. I mean, I definitely could consider him a mentor, someone that I look up to. He's been a role model for me the past 3 years. I mean, I've had him as a physics teacher, as a soccer coach, indoor soccer coach, and he's definitely going to be missed next year. I'm sure he'll show up at a lot of your practices, so you can't miss him too much, but he's definitely going to be missed, and we're so great to have him these past 3 years.
Are we good? All right. Thank you.
Is it easy access? Okay.